Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay.
And I'm Steve Stay.
And he's my husband and business partner, and this is Coloring Bliss. And 2 weeks ago we did a big video where we announced a Prismacolor giveaway, and I showed you all the color pencils that Prismacolor offers. But guess what? There is a forgotten line, a line I didn't know about. And today we're going to learn all about the forgotten Prismacolor color pencils. It's pretty exciting. Yeah. And I need him here because he speaks Spanish a little bit and he can help me translate. That's a hint for you. But before we get started, I want to show you some new art we have available for you to come download at Coloring Bliss. So March is almost here. Can you believe it?
I know.
I can't believe we're almost to March. I'm so glad because that means spring is coming and we get to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. So we have a couple free coloring pages that you can come and download, free for a limited time. This one right here, which I drew like 6 years ago.
2016.
Whoa, 6 years ago I drew this one. Now we also have this one right here, which was 7 years ago. Oh my goodness. And I think this is one of our most popular downloads, isn't it? Anyway, so come and get these. They're free for everyone. Just come on over and download these and celebrate St. Patrick's. Now we have 2 new pieces of art to celebrate with, and these were drawn by, is this one Anastasia, our Bliss artist that we hire from time to time, and this is the first one that you can come and get. Look at all the fun little images to color for St. Patrick's Day. Lots of fun. This dapper fellow is also available for you to come and download. Now, these 2 right here are part of our paid library, so if you want to support us here at Coloring Bliss, keep us making art and these types of videos for you, it's just $5 a month. You can cancel anytime you want, and there are literally hundreds of coloring pages and resources waiting for you. Pretty cool. One more quick item of business. I need to remind you about the giant giveaway that's going on. It's worth over $270 and it's tons of beautiful Prismacolor products, a case to put them all in, and a book to help you get organized. If you want to learn more about the giveaway, click the link in the video description, get your entries in because it ends March 2nd, 2022, and we'll announce the winner via email March 3rd, 2022. Okay, let's talk about the forgotten and lost set of Prismacolor color pencils. All right, are you ready to see the forgotten set of color pencils? This is what we're talking about. Prismacolor Junior. Interesting, huh? So when we released that video a couple weeks ago, a bunch of you came on and made comments and said, you forgot the Prismacolor Junior. And I didn't even know these existed. And the reason I didn't know is because they are made for and sold in South America. Now you can also get it on Amazon here in the US. So that's how I got mine. But they are primarily made for that market. So that's why I didn't know about it. You Google it, you go on our Prismacolor website that I can access, nothing about any of it there. So I did call Prismacolor and ask them about this product. And once again, I was very disappointed with my interaction with Prismacolor. She had very little information, promised me a follow-up email, and still nothing. I think I've been promised 3 follow-up emails now, and I'm getting nothing from them. So that's really frustrating. But that means that you and I get to do some, scientific exploratory learning here about these sets. Are these worth it? Should you go get them? Are they just the scholars? What are they? Right off the bat, you can see we have 2 different lines here. Now, this 24 set right here, I believe, comes in a smaller set as well and a 48 set. This was all that we could get our hands on at the time of this video. So that's all we've got for the single-ended pencil. Now this over here is a 2-ended pencil. We're going to talk about these. They're very unique, but it has 48 total colors, and you can see that we've got a core of 4.0 millimeters. That's bigger than the Prismacolor Premiers. Pretty cool. And I have been doing some coloring with them. I'll show you the art I've done, the swatches I've done, and everything. But first what we're going to do is roll some unboxing footage and the very first time I swatched them. So let's roll that footage and you can enjoy it. Swatching these Prismacolor Junior pencils was a lot of fun, but it was more challenging than I expected. Of course, all the names on the pencils are in Spanish, and my English brain kept wanting to find meanings for each of the colors, even though it's not the same language. So I kept asking Steve what the color names meant. And the double-sided ones were really tricky, because it doesn't seem to have any rhyme or reason, the pairings between the two colors on the one pencil. So in order to keep them in some sort of color wheel order, I had to pay attention and flip and flop the pencils back and forth and try to keep track when one pencil was both ends swatched. It was confusing, and my order on the swatch chart was far from perfect on this one because of that. The next thing I wanted to check with my swatching is the comparison between the colors in the double pointed pencils and the single pointed pencils. There were several that had the same names, so are they the same colors? So after going through the 24 from the single point set of junior pencils, it looks like all 24 colors are represented in the 48 colors. So now we will swatch and compare. So as you saw, I struggled with this, and part of the reason I struggled is because everything is in Spanish here and it's not my native tongue, and so I had a really hard time like keeping track of what colors, and yeah, I need to learn more Spanish. But I thought this would be such a great way to teach kids, if they were learning Spanish, the colors, because they could do the swatching, see the color name, write it several times, color it out, and it would stick in their head more. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Anyway, Steve, let's see if I have this figured out so far. My guess is this means single point.
Yep.
Haha. And this, of course, would be double pointed, right? And I should have known that what this word is, but Steve had to tell me that that means new, right? So that was one that I should have known. Now on the back side, we get to see the colors they come with, including over here the combinations. And then we have some very important information right here that I want you to see. It is made in Vietnam, not Mexico, which was, at first I was like, what? They're selling these to South Americans and they're having them made not at their Mexican plant? It's so confusing, but that's the case. Remember when we learned about the scholars, we discovered that a few of those pencils in that line are also coming from Vietnam. So I'm really curious to see, will they continue to shift more products to Vietnam, or are they going to keep them in Mexico? I don't know. So, Steve, I want you to help me read some of this. Like, I don't know what any of this says up here. Something like great selection of colors.
Yeah, to inspire young artists.
So they're really talking about children here, which is interesting.
Definitely young artists seems to be what they're targeting.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Very good. So that was the most... Oh, the other thing I thought was interesting is they actually have some other information about the diameter of the pencil here, and saying there might be a variable of the size of the core.
Plus or minus 0.15 millimeters.
Yeah, so I want you to know that I did pull out my fancy digital caliper and checked the size of the cores on them, and most of the ones I checked were over 4 millimeters in the core. So that's really cool. Now, you saw me struggling in the video with these boxes. They're really tight and really difficult to work with. Again, like I said with the Scholars and the Verithins, if you end up purchasing them, get them out of these boxes and into a case that will protect them and you can use without this struggle, because this is enough of a struggle that it would make me feel like I'm not going to use them. They're just a pain. Once you get it opened, it's okay, except for the double-ended, because all you can see is the single side. So, and the pairings, as you saw in the swatching, are very confusing. So the first question I had was, are the colors in this box the same colors over here? Are they using the same cores from pencil line to pencil line? So I did some comparing to figure it out. So what we're going to do is pull one out from each box here and look at them, and then we'll look at my swatches where I compared. So let's get one with a better color. Okay, so this is what the double-ended pencil looks like. It says Prismacolor Junior. I'll show you a couple things that are very different from any of the other Prismacolor products. It looks like whenever they painted these pencils, it looks like it was first painted white and then it had the cover of the color sample put on it. So that's kind of new. I've seen that in other brands before. It's not new to me, but new to Prismacolor. Now they have the names of each color and it's in Spanish. Right there, you can see it. This pencil right here is so hard to read. It's metallic writing, but on top of that, it's so teeny tiny that it was really hard for me. Sometimes J's look like I's and L's look like I's. And because I didn't know the proper spelling in Spanish for the colors, I got confused and had to make a lot of corrections during my swatching. So that's one thing I despise about these pencils. The writing is too small and it's metallic. Okay, so here is the single pointed pencils. So again, it says Prismacolor Junior and it's all metallic writing, but this time the writing is a little bit bigger. So these ones didn't upset me quite as much. I could read the lettering, and actually that's how I figured out how some of the colors are spelled. I would look on these pencils and then use what I learned over here on the harder to read pencils. Now both boxes come with metallics. We've got metallic silver and gold in both boxes. The silver does have a nice shine, but the gold doesn't. So here's the silver and the gold. I'm going to move it in the light and you can see some of the non-metallic waxy pencils are getting that waxy shine more than the gold metallic. So what that means is that this gold could be used up in a different place. It won't color out strangely because it's not highly metallic. So this actually
get a yellow shade, huh?
becomes a color you can use. The silver laid down really creamy and nice. And speaking of lay down, this is a very interesting pencil. It feels like a cross between Prismacolor and Polychromos.
Really?
Yes. Which was very interesting and exciting. I'm going to show you what I colored with it here in just a minute. I had a lot of fun coloring with these.
Wow,
They're
I
a
didn't expect
little
that.
bit crumbly, which I don't like, but I can live with. I know how to manage that. And the other problem I had was they don't layer like a Polychromos. They layer more like a Prismacolor, where you can't, Polychromos you can layer for days on top of it. And Prismacolor, it's more about laying down a really rich stroke with every stroke. So it's a little mix of the two.
Huh.
It was very interesting. Okay, so let's talk about the colors. Is that orange here, or what's orange?
Naranja?
No, you're going to have to say all the color names because I will say it like an English woman. Naranja. That's how I would say it. Terrible. I know everybody who speaks Spanish just cringed.
Yeah, just say naranja.
Naranja. Okay, so here's the chart I created. Again, I struggled with this. I had no fun swatching these because of the Spanish, and it gave me some compassion for anybody who is not English speaking or French or Spanish. Those are the most common languages that we find on our pencils. And if you're trying to swatch in a foreign language, it must be very difficult because I had a hard time here. I don't know if you can see all the corrections I had to make. It's kind of a messy chart. I'm going to have Steve put this on our Prismacolor blog that we're creating, so if you want to look at it closely, you can. So what I did was the single pointed pencils are here, the double pointed pencils are here, so we can compare and see if they're the same color all the way down. And then I swatched what companion color was on the other end. And at first I was like, oh look, it's like you know, complementary colors. They want you to have complementary-ish colors across from each other. But that's not true. Like, why would you put these two together right here? Yeah. It doesn't make any sense. I don't think there's a ton of logic behind the pairings. And we'll talk another problem I ran into with the pairings here in a second. But Steve, my color guru, do you think they have the same cores? I'm going to hold it up here for you to see. And I want you to comment below. Do you think the pencils have the same cores? Now,
from this angle, I would say yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think they do. There's
one exception. Okay, the one that I don't think has the same core is the gold, or oro.
Yeah.
That one is a redder gold, and that's a greener gold. And guess what? The redder gold has a little bit of shine. So in the double pointed, this box here, and it's paired with, let's see, the green, this one here. This one actually has some metallic shine. So if you're really excited about the metallic gold, the double-ended one has a better metallic shine than the single-pointed pencil.
Were the names the same?
Yeah, names are all the same. Now, all 24 of these colors are represented in the 48. So I wish I had the 48 set so we could see if all 48 are here here. Yeah, but I don't. So looking at the pairings, what I discovered was that for the most part, one pencil, which has two colors, represents two of the pencils in here. So for every one pencil over here, we get two from the 24 set. Okay. Now, what's cool to me about that is that I could hold just 12 of these or take them with me, and they would represent all 24 over here. So that's pretty cool. But then we got down here to Violetta, which is the single pointed color here, and they paired it with a color that is not in this set, Esmeralda. So we ended up with an odd one, and that means that this set has gris calido, warm gray, Steve says, but it wasn't on the right end. So if they had paired Violetta with gris calido, then it would have made that idea of 12 pencils represent this whole thing true, but it's not true.
Yeah, but it's only one off. Wow.
Only one. So I don't know what happened there, but that's how they are organized. So I still don't know if you have the full 48 count. I would love to know if all of these colors that are represented on my double pointed pencils are in the full 48 count. So I'll have Steve put this chart right here, and I want someone who owns these, the whole 48 set single point, to let me know. Is this the 48 colors you got? So when I did talk to the Prismacolor representative on the phone, one thing that was very helpful was she said that the junior line is its own creature and it's not the same as Scholar. That's kind of what I was wondering. Did they just rebrand and relabel the Scholar line? And she said, no, it's not. It's a totally different line. But one question I have, now that I've done all this research and sleuthing, I've just, like I said, we know that there's a few in here from the Scholar line that are made in Vietnam.
And it seems like they were thicker, right?
Yeah, they had the bigger core. I made a big deal about it in that video. You can go back and see it. So I'm curious to see if they're the same as the ones that are in the junior line. So I'm going to find a couple, we'll swatch them, and we'll see. We did some comparing and pulled some pencils to see if they have the same colors. So again, I want you to comment below, all right? So over here we have the junior, and over here we have Scholar. And I did want to point out that a couple of the tips break on the junior. It's just like Prismacolor. It has a bit of a softer core, so when you sharpen to a needle point tip, the tips often break. That's why you use Verithin if you want something that is really sharp and linear. Use Verithin, because all of these are breaking when you get them to a really sharp point. The crumbs were also an issue over here on the junior. You can see where I swiped away the crumbs, and look at that beautiful smear. So again, you need to have a sort of knowledge of how to work with Prismacolor pencils. Okay, what do you think? Are they the same colors? Are they using the same colors that Scholar got just in the junior line? What do you think, Steve?
I think they are.
I think they are too. This one might be a wee bit different, but not much. It's very interesting.
Yeah, or was it just the pressure that you colored?
Yeah, it could have been the pressure.
Do they feel the same?
That's a really good question. Let's test that. I'm going to take the black from the Sculler line and from the Junior line, and let's sharpen them up so they're equally sharp. And then I'm going to I'll close my eyes, and you can hand me one. And the reason I'm using the single pointed ones is that about the same pointiness? Yeah. Is so that I can't feel that I've got a single pointing in my hand.
Right.
So I'm going to give them to Steve. He's going to do the mix, and I'm going to keep my eyes shut. You guys keep me honest. Make sure my eyes stay shut.
Okay, there you go.
So we're looking for softness, right? Or
just
whatever.
overall feel.
Okay. They see? Am I in camera?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm being really honest here, so I don't know what's going on. Okay, that one... Is this the Junior?
Yes.
Yeah, it's that feeling. It's different, you guys. It feels just a little bit closer to a polychromos. So it is that happy mix, and I could totally feel the difference.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if Steve would have felt it.
I guess the colors are really close, but maybe it's the fillers or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they're using the same pigments.
It could be.
Because they're both in the Vietnam.
Right. Both of these are from Vietnam. You're right. So if our theory that they're using the same core, I think we just shot that theory down, at least with black, because I felt the difference. So usually with a color pencil, you've got the pigment, which is the color, and then they'll use a mix of waxes and oils. Every pencil uses a mix of wax and oils. The difference is the ratio between the wax and the oil and the kinds that they use. There's different varieties of waxes and oils that they'll mix in. And then there's other fillers that sometimes they put in too. I don't know all of it, but that's how much I know. And that's why different pencils feel different. They layer different. They color different. Some have more pigment. Some have less pigment. And that's why one of the main reasons my channel exists is because we have so much fun learning about these supplies and which one does what better and how can we make these work so good for our coloring.
Okay, we got to try orange.
Oh, he wants to do the test again.
Yeah.
Okay, let's set up for the test. Okay, we've got both oranges sharpened about the same amount. I'm going to close my eyes, keep me honest, and Steve will hand me an orange. Let's see. Am I in the screen? Can they see what I'm doing? Okay. Oops. I'm glad I can use... Oh, see? Is this the Junior again?
Yep.
It totally has a different feel.
Wow, okay.
So they're not the same core. They may be the same pigments. Maybe they're using the same pigments, but the actual mix is two different mixes. I love art science. Next thing I wanted to do was actually color with the Junior line to see how they performed. Did they mix well? Because they felt so different, I wanted to see, are they going to layer? Are they going to mix? What's going to happen? And I did it on the tan paper because that also shows opacity, right? Can they stand up against a darker background? And look at what I did, you guys.
That's really
I think it
pretty.
turned out so pretty. I had so much fun. I did use a little odorless mineral spirits in just a couple places. Here along the edge and in here in the center of the pinks. I wanted to see what odorless mineral spirits did with them, if anything, and they love odorless mineral spirits. I didn't put down much, and then I was able to layer on top and get that contrast between the bright, bright pink and the darker magenta type color. And yeah.
Wow, they're beautiful.
Yeah, I am impressed. So how much do they cost? This 24 pack I bought for $16.25.
Wow.
Not bad. Now, the double-ended 48, I got for $16.99. Now, we've done a video in the past about double-ended pencils, and I talked about the pros and the cons of double-ended pencils. So keep in mind that, yes, maybe you're getting all 48 colors, but they're half the length of a full pencil, which maybe it's going to be just fine for you. This gives you 24 actual sticks, but 48 colors.
So about 35 cents per pencil, but 17 cents per color.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Now you can get, right now as of February, the end of February, the 48 single are back in stock. So you can get all 48 colors single pointed or Unipunta for $28.80, so about $29. You can get the full set with single point, which is what I would recommend unless you're looking for a really more compact set of pencils to carry around in your purse or something.
So it's about 60 cents per pencil.
So yeah, a little bit more money. But they also have a strange other line that I didn't get. It's 12 pencils, and instead of a 4mm core, it has a 5mm core. And I think those pencils might be shorter, stubbier, but I'm not sure. Maybe someday if you guys want me to bring them in, I'll bring them in. But for now, I'm quite content with learning about the junior line with my 2 boxes here. If you want to try the 12 with a 5mm core, those are just $10 for that cool little set. So do I recommend the junior line? Am I glad that someone told me about them and I got to try them? Of course I am. I'm impressed. They are a totally different line of pencil than anything else. So if you want to try something new, if you're like me and you're a color pencil collector, I would put this on your list as something to try because it's unique. It comes from Vietnam, which is nice, but it's all in Spanish. So if that is something that you want in your collection to try, then I highly recommend them. I'll put links to them in the video description if you want to go over and check it out for yourself. Do you need the junior line? Of course not. Again, my recommendation overall would be to get the Prismacolor Premieres. It's worth waiting and saving up for that full set, that beautiful set. Then I would recommend the Scholar simply because they're easier to get your hands on here in the US. If you're outside of the US, this could be totally different. But the juniors, as a collector's item, I think is worth it. And will I color with them again? I think I will, because they were really fun and different. Pretty cool.
That's awesome.
So thank you to all of our followers that commented and put me on the lost, forgotten set of the Prismacolor Junior, because I had a lot of fun trying them out and learning about another line of Prismacolor color pencils. And that's the end of today's video, except to remind you to follow the link and get your entry in so that you can win that massive Prismacolor color pencil prize worth $270. Well, more than that, but you get the idea. Thank you so much for watching. So Steve likes to spoil you, and I thought I finished this video up. And he's like, should we buy the $16.99 48 set of the juniors and add it to the giveaway? He loves you guys so much. Will they have room for the 48 in that case we got them?
I don't know, maybe not, but I don't think they'll complain.
So he's checking to make sure we can actually order them, because last time we tried. And when's the delivery date? Is it not like till July or some ridiculous date?
I don't know. It says Prime.
Okay.
It says free, yes, February, Saturday. So.
All right. We just made the giveaway even more epic and big. I know you guys hate us for that. What do you think, Rose? Do they need the 48 single Unipunta set? Yeah, she thinks you guys need it too. All right, he's putting it in the cart. It's on its way. I'm so excited for one of you to win this giveaway. It really is the ultimate Prismacolor color pencil prize. Pretty cool. All right, I think Steve better do the outtake since he's the one spoiling all of you. Get your head in here.
I hope you have a wonderful, colorful, blissful day.
Bye-bye, everyone. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Stay.
And I'm Steve Stay.
He's my husband and business partner, and this is Coloring Bliss. And let's see. Why did you laugh? Okay, let's try again.